Hey, welcome back. We're going to be working on walk stop today. So I already got started. Sorry, I didn't make it very far. I was just duplicating our character here so that we could have our start animation working. And I'm going to put this character in the same sequence. I'm going to just drag her in here. And now we're going to have our walk stop working. So let's bring in that animation. Walk stop, pace. And maybe my machine won't crash. Just waiting. Oh, I was just about to pause the video. We got it. Okay. So we have our stop. And are we looking at around the same length? Just about. So I could probably cut it shorter, but let's go ahead and just bring this back here. So that is the same length. So we're going to finish our stop around here. I think that's okay. Let's just leave it. All right, let's drag this out. Anything I don't need, I will go ahead and just get rid of. Okay. We are on here. We're going to bake our animation sequence. Nope, we're going to bake to control rig. Ooh. Do I use this one? I was working on a new version of the control rig. Oh, what the heck. Oh, let's restart all that. I need to remember that when I want root motion, I need to come to the animation and make sure that our character is translating forward. And one of the things I'm going to do, just so I can see everything. Oops, let's see here. Oh, that's the skeleton. I want the skeletal mesh. I am going to, I think it's this one. Nope. Maybe it's a little higher up. Having the same pink in two different areas. Oops. It's not even that. This one. Yes, I'm going to disable the cape. Okay, let's go back. Get rid of that. Go back to our sequencer. We're going to add our animation. It's going to call it walk stop. There we are. And we're going to bake this animation down to our control rig. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete all that other stuff because I'm not going to need it, that transform and stuff. So now we're translating forward. Great. Okay, so this control rig, not that I really want to get into it. I was messing around with this control rig over the weekend and managed to get FK and IK working at the same time. So if oh, my brain is in two different places at one time. So one of the reasons why I don't like to work with layers and multiple animation sequences in one sequencer is because now I'm looking at um, these different layer options here. I don't necessarily have that for our other character. So I just need to remember which one is which. And that is by some good naming. Let's just call this stop additive. Okay. So we're going to key here and key here so that we know our first pose and our last pose are where we want them to be. We're going to go to our poses. I'll talk about the rig in a second. I know I moved on. we're going to our poses. We're going to select our controls here. Actually, I'm just going to select here because when I hit select controls, it selects both control rigs, which is not what I want. Let's see if this is going to key this properly. So we're going to paste that pose. Okay, so that keyed that. That's good. And then we want our walk start. We're going to paste that. I'm going to grab this value here first. We grab our keys, controls, excuse me, and then we're going to paste that pose. And then we're going to come back here. And I think that was on Y. I'm going to move that back. Same thing with the root. Just move that back. Okay, so now we have our proper start, or our proper first frame of our walk pose. And then we have our proper idle pose. So I'm gonna come back to our layers. I'm gonna rename this layer to be, stop pose match. Then grab all these controls again. And I want a new layer for stop root. So stop root. So I'm going to come up here to our base layer. I'm going to take our translation animation. I'm going to paste it here. I think I might need a key. Can I paste it now? There we go. So that's pasted. So that's all moving. And I just like to, this is just an animator preference. People do this stuff all sorts of ways. So if you watch different animators animate, they will handle the root a little bit differently. This is just what I like to do. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. Find a method that you like, view other people's methods, and just figure out what works for you. Okay, so I'm going back to the base layer. I've got our two controls selected. I'm going to zero these out. And that way our root motion is just following our, our one global controller. And I will say, if I pause it real quick, I'm getting a call from a painter. Okay, we're back. I'm off the call with a painter. Where were we? Root motion. So one of the things I like to do, I will explain, is that if I can have one controller move a bunch of things instead of having 2 or 3 controllers do the same move, I'll probably try to consolidate it into that one controller. And for me, like getting the feet to line up properly is not that really big of a deal. So I just don't really worry about it. Since I'm here and I'm seeing these feet do something weird, I'm going to go ahead and try to fix them. Looks like we're getting some scaling here, which is odd. I'm not sure what's going on. We have that one. There's no scale. There's definitely animation on it. I'm just going to zero that out. And then there's this one. No scale, but animation on it. And I'll zero that out, and it still looks funky. Is there anything here? No. Well, it looks like there is. Some rotation on it. Oh, yeah, it might be from my other layer, which is here, and I'm pose matching. That's fine. That's weird that that one kind of of messes up. Probably won't see too much of this anyway. So let's come here. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see if I can undo those changes. And looks okay. Come to back to the pose match layer. And we're just going to zero that out there so we can zero it this way like that. That is not at all what I wanted. That should have worked to zero that out. Next thing I'm going to do is, nope, that's interesting. That is really bizarre. So if I zero these out, it gets funky. So what happens if I just delete it? That also not ideal. Delete this one. Also not ideal. So that tells me that it's in a really weird spot. So I'm going to zero this out anyway. And then, it's not keeping my controls selected. That one's fine. I'll keep that one. This one, I think I'll just try to deal with it and see what happens later. I'm just spending too much time on it and I want to move on. I think this happened on the move start also. It's definitely getting some weird translation. And it's just this controller right here. I think, yeah, that one moves it around. Okay. So back to the rig. This rig is definitely heavier for my machine now that I've made these changes. Let's turn off this root motion so I don't have to look at that. Gonna make this a little bigger and go to unlit. That floppy foot, that floppy clown foot. Okay, so I'm gonna select all these, make a new layer. We're gonna do stop additive. Okay, we're gonna key there, key here. And it is weird that those just aren't zero keys. What's this key? Key selected controls. Okay. That's what I would expect, a pass-through key. So like when I set a key, at first it should just be 0, which is just kind of bizarre that it isn't. So pay no mind to the floppy foot. What I want to show is the rig. So right here I have my FK controls. Oops, looks like I'm still printing some information there. So I guess that's good. We can see that like the arm interaction there, that should be false. That should just be another name. It should be IK arm interaction. So we're just asking, which control did you grab? Did you grab an FK control or an IK control? And you can see that like I'm moving the arm in FK and the IK arm is updating also. And that one was weird. So when you rotate to some position that you're your IK arm doesn't want to go. It kind of snaps to a weird position. So I haven't really animated with this rig yet. But now if I grab my IK control, it's really sluggish. You can see that, but we're seeing true over here. Now our arm interaction is saying that we're grabbing our IK controls, and that's true. So then now we can move our IK, and then our FK automatically matches also. So we can be in IK or FK at the same time. So that's the way that works. And like I said, FK is significantly more uh, demanding on my machine, because I think it's because we are matching the IK, I'm sorry, matching the FK in real time, and not just when we're flipping modes, because we're always in IK mode so long as I'm moving it around. And then we do something like that for FK. So depending on which mode you want to be in at any given moment, it will allow you to be there. Okay, so I just want to select all the controls and do my pass-through key there. Okay, so we'll play around with this rig a little bit as we move forward. So we come down and we're trying to get to our stop. We'll turn root motion back on, lock that down. So we want our left foot to probably stop moving here. So like really all the stop that we're going to see is probably this right there. So we want our left foot to come down. Our right foot should definitely be, like when the right foot plants, it should be where it needs to be. So I'm just going to do this in the base layer. That right foot is still moving around. Right foot is in the air here. So delete from frame 22. And it looks like it should plant around 26. So we'll say maybe 28. So delete all that. And then we want our planted key there on 28. And where is our root motion? It stops at 30. So I guess if I wanted to, just for ease of work, I could have it stop moving on frame 30, right when root motion stops. And then our left foot is going to catch up. So our left foot will have been planted from, let's say, from 20. And then it does a little shift forward after our right foot stops moving. So that'll be frame 30. So let's say frame 20, you're on the ground, not doing anything. Let me get rid of these. Oh, that's weird. See, I'm not sure if I should be selecting all of those controls now, FK and IK, or what. Let's see. So normally I would just select our IK and toe controls there. So on frame 20, we're on the ground. And we want to keep it there until frame 30. So we're going to take that key and paste it. And we know it's sliding. We'll fix it later. And then on frame 30, so it'll actually be back here somewhere. So let's go ahead and mimic that. So really it's this root motion here on frame 20. So what value is that? Let me unlock that layer. It's a value of -33, some such. And then on frame 30, should be at 0. Okay, so we need this to go backwards. Let me lock that. This key from here to here, that's a 14. We're gonna do this one. It's let's paste this. There we go. And we're gonna do equals minus equals that -33 value. So we should get that offsetting pretty good. And then now we'll need to move it. So we just need an actual step here. So I'll delete all that. Then we'll move our foot into position. Then we'll step, and we want this final position here, and delete all this junk. There we go. Whoops. That seems okay. It's not that far of a step. So we may just want the left foot to finish first, which would be here. Let's delete that and see what happens. Actually, we need that one. That should be plus equals, because we're going to be, I don't know, it was like 33. So we need that foot out there. Not quite. Yeah, that's about right. If I keep my mouse there. Okay. That's a little too far of a step. So let's undo that. Get our short step there. Okay. Now, because I'm tired of looking at this boat foot, let's look at this foot and see if we can fix this controller from being all sorts of wonky. So it's way far out there. I think that was on the post-match. I just want this one to be 0. Let's try just this control. I mean, this transform. Whoop. And nope. Does not like that. Then let's zero this out here. Let's just add a key. And then does something funky again. Great. Let me remove selected. I want to see what that does. Oh, weird. So it's kind of funky anyway. So yeah, I don't really want to fix that there. Let's come here to Y and ask ourselves, why is this moving at all? Move this up there, our anchor point. Just scale this back out. Let's just make this all 0. So there's that. And now we're on Guess we're on X, which is weird. Do that one. And then now we're on Z. We keep our rotation. Yeah, I'll just have to reanimate it. Just fine, but it looks better now. Okay, so what we're gonna do is come to our walk stop. Oops, we're gonna copy that name. We're going to bake our animation. Where are we? Unarmed, stop. Bake that down. I think that worked. Oh, space, walk forward, stop. Okay, I'll do that again. Walk forward, stop, and start. Get those names right. There we are. So we'll copy that, right click, bake anim sequence, anims, locomotion, unarmed, stop, paste, export. And it should have saved over. So let's save our sequencer. Come here. I think we already have our distance curve. I wonder why that curve is not capitalized. Create curve, distance, and then paste our values. Okay. We're going to come here and get our root motion, set up, save that. Then we'll play and see how it looks. That's weird. I'm playing over here. Okay. Huh, interesting. Let's walk and stop. So it plays it. I can't say how well it plays it. I don't necessarily want something overly exaggerated. I just want to make sure that it's doing what I understand it to be doing. So let's open up our ABP. So we're going to look at our move stop. Oop, come on. There it is. See what's going on here. Watch it as it goes. So it transitions through move stop pretty quickly. It definitely wants to get out of there. Let's see what happens when we're just running around. So it stays in the run for longer. The move stop. Okay. So I set these up for running, so I've never tested really these rules. Okay, so get relevant anim time remaining, fraction, let's say if you're less than 50%, go ahead and get out of the animation. I want to say movement mode. Do I have that? Do I movement states? Don't remember. Yes, get move state. Okay. Not equal to walk and bool. Okay, so we're saying that basically if you're not equal to walking, then we're going to listen to this information here. And then we're going to create another transition. We're going to say, we probably want, let's look at our animation. So 50%, that's a fraction. Yeah. Okay. So 50%, that's going to be right here. And then it's blending us out. So that means that we're missing all this information afterward. So I want after, say, 1.545%. So let's say less than, which would be 20%, sorry, less than 20% left. Say 0.2, and you're equal to our walk state. So it should use, let's save that. Let's just make sure everything's hunky-dory and restart it. Those cubes are there, so it thinks I'm on a slope. So just testing this, making sure that it feels right. Let's go back, check this out. Okay, that feels okay. Let's walk. Okay, that's better. Cool. All right, that feels good. Oh, that doesn't. Let's see when we should stop. Has no acceleration. Okay. When should we leave? Go back to move start. Okay, clean this up a little bit. Has acceleration or has acceleration and the move stop is finished. It's interesting. Okay. So let's see. Why are we getting that funky foot? I can live with that one right there. There's just like something else coming in from that. That one right there. Kind of just depends on where the foot is, I guess. It makes me want to check our blend times here. Sure, let's use a 0.5 blend time here also. Let's compile and check that out. Probably don't want that higher blend time. Just, oh, that's weird. Have to see what that's all about. Huh. 0.25 has no acceleration. So if I'm going from move start to move stop, then it plays this funky bit right there. Make sure it's not anyplace else in the graph. Yeah, that's weird. Gonna have to clean that up. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's come here. Let's get move mint state not equal to block. Listen, acceleration. No. Whoops. And bool. Gonna move that over. Put that there. So I want to clean this stuff up before I've done any amount of like real animation, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on an animation and then something in the graph is like screwing it up all the time. Huh. So it looks like it's trying to play. That's interesting. So we're stuck in move. Oh, because we can't get out of it. Because we're in walk mode. Okay, so we just want the opposite of this one. Paste that here. And this is going to be equal to walk. Pull that up. Put that together. And we'll call this, so we can share it, stop walk. Promote to shared. There we are. Stop walk. There we are. And we'll drag this one out to use stop walk also. There it is. Stop walk. We got 0.25 in linear. Let's say 0.25, 0.3. Okay, let's do 0.3 here. And linear. I'm just setting these up so that they're the same, so I can start looking at what specifically is going on here. So let's compile. Let's see what animation is being played here. Okay, so I come here. So it's playing walk stop. That's weird. I don't see the speed going faster than, I'm looking up here at the speed value. I don't see it going beyond. So it is time for the rewind debugger. Let's turn that on. Selected viewport and play. Bring this down. Start walking. We're just going to tap that. That's weird. I wonder if it has to do something with walk start. This doesn't seem to be happening all the time. Like, which walk are we playing here? Let's eject. Whoops. Let's run this back here. Okay. See if we can move around here. Locomotion. That one seems okay. That doesn't. Right there. So what animation is it in? Oh, it's in a start left. That's interesting. So once I get that cleaned up, I don't know why. Run, turn, start. Okay, that makes more sense. Not sure why it's in that particular mode. Run, start, direction, angle. I thought it was there. Okay. At least I know what it's doing. At some point, we'll have this set up here. Let's copy this over and paste this in. Then we'll say default is here. We'll remove these other poses. And we'll see what that looks like. Okay. So we're walking to the left again. Okay, it would help if I actually hook that up. So let's do that. Let me see. We are here. Let's just clean this up a little bit. Okay. My OCD is satisfied. Okay, let's play. Let's walk. Let's look at our graph here. So if I come up here and turn left, okay, that looks fine. Okay. So yeah, we don't have proper turn starts yet. So I'm not too worried about any of that. Now that I know what it is. So every now and then it was getting that turn start run animation. So yeah, it's just basically playing, I want to say, from when our foot is already planted. So we're talking about, okay, stop recording. Let's trash that. Okay, let's stop. Let's pop it back out. So seems like our foot is already planted. So it's basically just playing from here on. So that means that I probably want to analyze this animation a little bit more and how it's actually playing. And so just doing the eyeball test, it feels like we're about right here all the time. So we're just in this little section here. So we're not actually stopping. We're not actually playing most of this. We're just playing like this section right here. Let's see if we can get that, if it really shows that right foot being up. Sometimes, like that's no good. Let's go to our blend times, go out, look at our blend times here. Let's actually make sure we're getting that correct animation. Okay. The correct transition. Okay. And okay. So we're using the correct transitions. See, I'll have to play around with those feet a little bit more. Let's play around with the blend times. Let's go really short in our blend times here. Compile and play. I like the nice sharper colors here. Like I can actually see stuff. That's nice. So again, we're just looking at how that right foot is handling itself, which is not great. I'm gonna try inertialization. I like to just fool around with these things. So let's just walk forward. Get our character turning here so we can really see her here. Put this up. Look at those feet. Look at those feet. Okay. Definitely kind of janky, depending on where we're coming from. That one feels okay. Don't mind that one. But let's make it really high. So let's say 0.35. What was this one? 0.3. Say 0.45. Yeah, definitely too much there on the move start to stop. It's interesting that I'm not really seeing which route it's taking. Okay, looking at move to move stop. I don't like either one of those. Okay, so let's keep our blends low. Say a 0.2 here. Is that 2.25? 0.25 here. So we're going to be slightly shorter blends than our run blends. So I need to watch that walk start to stop. Make sure to not lean the character so far forward so quickly. I kind of like that when you're tapping. I don't mind that. Let's turn around. Looking at the feet from game view, looking at the feet from our ABP preview. Not seeing anything that's like, oh yeah, this is a It's a game stopper. I mean, sometimes are better than others. I think I can live with that. I mean, at some point, like, you got to move on. Another thing is that it makes me wonder what motion matching would do. Because I set this system up like way before motion matching. Let's walk a little bit, make sure we're still on walk start, and then transition. I mean, overall, I'd say it's pretty good. Sometimes that right foot has kicked out. Whoops. And the capsule is just basically like stopping on a dime. So, like, you probably could do multiple animations. I just kind of want to work with one, but like that right foot, plants out a little further. Um, so that right foot would kick out here, and plant there. And then like our hips would be out here or something like that. Our left foot would be back there. And then we'd step that right foot back into position. So like we could calculate, say, where our right foot is in that translation, in the translation. And if it's forward further than the root position, then we would play this in stop animation where the right foot kicks out forward and we step back. And if that's not the case, so we only need to check for that one. And if that's true, then we play it this particular stop. And if it's not true, then we always play the other stop. So right now, this stop animation is so yeah, we're just calculating real time where let's turn these off. Where the root would be. So this wouldn't be exactly accurate here. Because this right foot never comes in front of the root. But you could be, say, mid swing. Not mid swing, but like this right foot could be in front of the root here. And then what's happening right now is that it's playing that animation backwards, or that foot position backwards to where it wants to be. Instead of saying playing the animation where it kicks out forward and then plants here. So it continues forward. And then we transition that foot back in animation. So we would just be, like I said, calculating that right foot based on the root position. So if the right foot is in front of the root, and we play that stop animation where the right foot kicks out forward, boom, plants, and then we step it back. Otherwise, we play this particular stop animation. Interesting. Okay. But I don't want to get into all that. But I will say that just because we're talking about it, and this video is kind of running long, but I do have a system that already tracks that root motion. I'm sorry, the foot position relative to the root. I just have to find it. I don't remember what it's called. It's been a bit. Um, so if we go to our traversal map, let's get out of this. Recent maps, traversal map. Yeah, let's save that. So we're gonna load that up, and I want to show you this system in action. I probably showed it before, but it's for when you're walking on a beam. So when you're walking on a beam, this little blue bar here, we'll get up there. Okay. Not a great transition. I'll need to work on that. But so, like, if you just kind of tap forward, we'll look at our character here in our debugger window. So you can see that the left foot is forward. So that's the left foot. And then our right foot is back. Let's see our right foot. So we just tap forward. We just kind of shimmy forward. But if our right foot ever comes forward like that, then our right foot stays forward when we're stopped. And then if we bring our left foot forward a little bit more, then our left foot will stay forward when we're stopped. So let's say right foot's forward or front. Let's say F. So we're saying is right foot front. So we're getting that. We're getting it. Is right foot forward. That looks like the function. So let's go there. Okay. Is right foot forward. I don't know where we're using this. Don't want that one. Set is right foot front. That's what I want. So where are we setting this? Okay. First of all, we're only checking it during beam walking. So I don't have this system working anyplace else. That's why I wanted to show it while we're beam walking. So we are saying animate beam walking true, then yes, then we'll continue forward. Then we run this sequence of events here. So the first thing that we do is we check to see if you have acceleration. And if that's true, then we'll check two things. We'll check our right foot. Let me see if Y position, if Y positive, foot in front of root. Okay. So we're taking our right foot here and then our ball of foot someplace else. Okay. Um, let's see. So we're getting our component. We're getting our root name and our foot name, and we're checking select our socket bone name from and our socket or bone name to. So from our root to our foot right. And then we're checking our X value here. So our X value would be, actually it's right foot position when stop X, Y foot position when stop Y. My dog's barking. I may have to stop this and we'll come back to this later. So I do want to explain this because this might be interesting to figure out where we are in relation to our foot and our root and which foot is where it needs to be or where it is at any given moment. So that's essentially what we're doing here. We're just trying to figure out where the foot is compared to the root at any given moment. All right, I'm gonna stop the video there. Got to check on my doggy. Happy animating out there. Best of luck.